The default stacking order has 14 levels. The first for a void, then it comes up to figures. On top of that are zones, fills. Above that are 3D structures. On top of that are library parts. Above that is 2D artwork, lines, etc. And then on top of that is annotation, and then the 4 levels above that are void. So I want to just show this palette here. It's called the element information, and we're going to show the display order of each of these elements. So first of all, we'll draw a figure, put a figure in here. On top of that, we'll draw a zone. On top of that, I'll draw a 3D element, in this case a slab. We'll also draw a wall here. You see that automatically goes over the slab, even though they're on the same level. I'll put an object in here, just a toilet. That's a library part, and then we'll go up another level to the 2D artwork, in this case a line. And above that, we'll put some text. So with each of those placed, we will start selecting them and see their display order. So for the figure, you can see here, this is on display order level 5. The zone here is on display order level 6. The slab, level 7. The wall, also level 7. The library part, level 8. The 2D line, level 9. The text, level 10. Sometimes we need elements to be above or below other elements. For example, maybe the slab is a ceiling. So what we can do is select it, right click, go to display order and bring it forward a level. Now it's above the wall. Let's take a look at the figure here. We'll select that and we'll bring it up a level using the button. You can see it's still below the zone, even though it's on the same level. That's because they still have their natural order here, even though they're on the same level. The figure is below, so it's got to come one more above, and now it's above the zone. So these can all be set for library parts. It's great. These parameters can automatically be pulled out in a label. So I'm going to apply my label favorite, then I'm going to select some of these elements that have those parameters in them. Let's just say these 4, and then I'm going to label the selected elements. Now the labels kind of come in everywhere, so what I'm going to do is just adjust the top one and maybe this bottom one here, just pull these out. Just grabbing those by the leader and using the right pit palette option. Now if I just select the text only, I can come up and go to align and horizontal right. You can also go to distribute along the y-axis to distribute them nicely. Now this label is associated to the towel rail, but if I select it and command or control click the other object, I can reassociate it to that and then just drag the leader over. With the multi-plane roof activated, we can use our spacebar and magic wand a roof on top of these walls. With that, we can use the pit palette option to turn this hip into a gable end. Just snap it to the roof pivot line there. I can do the same with this end. Snap it to the roof pivot line there and it will give a perfect gable. You can also adjust the pitch just by clicking on the ridge. Bring it up here. We can turn this multi-plane roof, split it into single panes. So we'll split those up. I'll just delete one of those. You can also, with a single plane, you can adjust the pitch just graphically like this. You can also stretch it back. And let's say now we want to create another roof. We can mirror this one over the other side of the building. And with this selected, all we need to do is control click or command click on a Mac the leading edge of the other roof. That will bring that one up. Then I'll select this one and do the same for the other roof, and that will heal them perfectly. So that's great for a ridge, but it can also apply to a hip. So I'll just bring a roof out here, and then we'll mirror copy over here. I'll even change the pitch a little, because it doesn't really matter, and we can even rotate the whole roof just around a little bit. Now that's selected, I'll click on that side, and this one I'll click on this side, and the hip is automatically created. You can also control or command click any point of the roof to see the roof elevation at that point that you click on. So I'll just select all my roofs, go to the roof tool, hit Command A and delete. And let's say we have a condition where this wall is a little higher and we don't know the exact pitch that we want the roof to be. So in 3D, if we create a roof just using the single plane, we can click a 3-point method to define the angle. 1, 2, and 3 defines the angle we want, and then we can draw in the roof. So that's pretty easy there, right there in the 3D window. When it comes to zones, we might have a situation where our zone is not visible. So I'll just turn this off using my quick layers palette here. And let's say we're working along and we stretch one of these, some of these rooms out with a marquee. I'll just click here, drag it down, say 2 feet to stretch that room. And then I'll turn those layers back on again so you can see our zones. So these zones were not included in part of that stretch. So what we can do is we can go to the design, update zones dialog, select the zones that we want to update, these 3 here, and then hit update selected zones. So that will update the zones, but what you'll see here is that storage on the left has jumped into the void, and that's because of this little insertion point. So if we click on that and drag it into the correct room and then update it again, that will update to the correct room and the correct size. So another handy little tip is if we're modeling something, we can model them, undo them, redo them, and now they're selected, we can activate a new favorite to change those walls. So this undo, redo is very quick. Also, let's just model a wall here and do a partition. And another instance is sometimes we will want to mirror a copy of something and we click and we forget to mirror the copy. So what we can do is just cut it out and then we can undo that and then we can just paste it back in. Saves you re-mirroring. And while we're thinking of mirroring, we can also mirror at 45 degrees if you need, say, this toilet on the other wall. So here's a main floor plan. I just want you to see that. And then we have a lighting legend. This is a worksheet full of 2D parts. You can see the settings here are all set to notes and legends for all of the view settings. And back here, we're in floor plan. So I'm going to show this as a trace reference. And there's the lighting legend there as a trace reference. So what you can do is you can suck up these parts and you can place them. But first of all, we need to cancel that and we need to grab the view settings from that view and inject them into this view so we have all the right layers on. So now if I suck up the properties, I can start placing these parts from my legend into this plan. Keep in mind that legend's going out onto the layout as well, but we can use it to place parts.